Today we are making pan-seared cod with pineapple sage pesto. The first part of this is making the pesto. So I have here about a third of a cup or a little more of mac nuts that I have toasted in the oven because we always buy our mac nuts raw. And for this recipe we're going to want them toasted. And I have 6 cloves of garlic peeled. Now this is a rather small amount to be using this great big food processor for, but it's too much for our little food processor, so we're just going to do it this way. And you want to pulse this a little bit, get it started, and then we'll add a very generous cup of pineapple sage leaves. This pineapple sage is really kind of a cool plant. It really smells good. When you get done picking these leaves, it's like you put on some kind of really natural cologne.
And then the flowers, the hummingbirds really love the little flowers.
The flowers are really nice. Yeah. It makes a ton of these red flowers. The problem we're having with it is the plant itself is just too big for our garden. It just takes over. So it's nice to find a good use for it like this. So now we're going to get this all smoothed out. And those mac nuts take a little while to chop up. They're being round, they like to just roll around and roll off the blades. And now we're going to put in the zest of a lime, which I've already zested, and the juice of half of that same lime, and a little bit of salt. I'd say slightly less than half a teaspoon. A little bit of black pepper. And that was probably a quarter teaspoon. Then we will pulse that a little more. Mix it all together. And then with our blender on, we are going to add a third of a cup of peanut oil. Obviously, if you have mac nut oil, that would go nicely with the mac nuts, but we don't. Peanut oil is fine. And we're doing this while the blender is running, which helps it to emulsify and turn the pesto creamy. At least that would be the goal. Now that we have our creamy pesto, we're going to add to it a quarter cup of grated Parmesan. Go in there. Yep.
Might end up needing more oil.
And that, let's see what we've got. At this point, we're at least going to have to knock it down. And just take a look at the consistency and see what we're getting here. Yeah, I think it could be a little bit juicier. It's not bad. And what's it like as far as flavor? That's crazy. That's really good. The pineapple sage makes a nice pesto. Let's go ahead and add a little more oil to this. And I think that's going to be our pesto. Oh yeah, that looks a lot better.
Show me a scump of that.
I will. See that? It's a lot better. And once we get it out and get it in a bowl, it'll all mix together. Some of the oil's on the bottom here, and some of the stuff on the side's a little dry, but once we mix it all together, it's going to be perfect. So it's time to cook the fish. Today, rather than doing the tried and true Miss Kelly fish cooking, I'm going to cook the fish.
Okay.
This is like barbecue. Anything could happen. I'm not a seasoned veteran. So first, I have some coconut flour.
What kind of fish?
And I have some black cod. That's actually first. And then I have some coconut flour into which I have mixed a little bit of black pepper, like maybe a half a teaspoon, and a little bit of salt. About as much, I think. And I'm just going to get this sprinkled on my fish on both sides. So there's side A.
And our fish pieces are kind of weird, but
these are the ends.
When you buy a whole fish, this is what you get.
Black cod that we got from the Oceana. Hook, line, and sinker or something. Our favorite fisher people, and we buy a whole fish and we cut the middle out for things like miso cod and whatnot, and we freeze the ends for something like usually curry, maybe.
Well, we try to match up the pieces,
This time they weren't
the random
marked,
one.
so we're just we're gonna fry them, and as you can see, these are gonna fry in different times, and it's gonna be perfect.
I'm gonna coach you, and you're not gonna get mad.
Perfect. Trust me. So the first little bit we're going to do here, I should have done this over there. So I have a pan with hot coconut oil in it. And
let's see. You know how to test that?
I'm going to bring my finger over here.
How hot it is? You take a little
water.
water.
A little bit of water on your finger. But
not spit.
This isn't deep frying.
I know, but it's still it's
got to spit
when
you do that.
Yeah, because I fried something last night that was a big mess.
Particularly dramatic, but it worked. So we're going to go on the first side.
Yeah, it's hot.
For 3 minutes, and these little ones are probably going to get a little overdone, but black cod is very forgiving. It'll still be moist, even if it's a little overdone.
Let's turn it down just a little bit, because so this frying pan has like a cast iron bottom. It's really hot in the bottom. I mean, like heavy in the bottom, so it cooks hotter than most things.
All right, so I'm going to turn these little ones. It's the big ones that we're really paying attention to for this video. I'm going to turn these guys. They've only been in here 2 minutes, but they're so small, they're just going to get super done.
And fish does not take very long.
So an important thing with this, when you're just dusting them, there's no egg wash, there's nothing to really hold the coating on there. When you put the fish in there, don't move it. Just put it in there, and by the time the bottom is cooked, and then you can move it. So after 3 minutes, we'll be able to flip it and the bottom will stick to it. If you move it before that, the bottom will come off. And
no one wants a loose bottom.
No, that's similar to a soggy bottom.
So here, use this when you turn it over.
That would help.
Yeah. Instead of your finger.
A little hot.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to turn this one. Oh, look at that.
There you go.
That's
perfect.
Beautiful.
It's doing that little separate thing that it does.
And I don't think I really need to add more oil at this point.
No.
I'm just going to let it be, and I'm only going to cook it for 2 more minutes because I think we're getting...
Yeah.
We're going to get overdone, and these small pieces are coming out.
Yeah, they're done.
Like now.
Yeah.
So
that'll be fine.
these guys will come out and they will go under our tent over here. And if you have any objections, you see how these just flake apart, and it's just beautiful fish. So for a tent, you know, you can just put another plate on there, and then you're not using up a piece of foil every time.
Yep.
We reuse our foil, so it works out pretty well, but there's an idea.
I do that with microwaving things too. Okay, you might want to move those to the middle of your pan.
Actually,
oh, you're not supposed to move them.
I don't want to move them.
I want to move them. Okay.
Move the pan to the middle of the pan to right over the heat.
Okay.
We could do that.
Okay.
This is going to be done really soon.
Yeah. Faster than the time says. I still have to mash some tigers.
Still 30 seconds left on our timer, but oh, now there's only 15. But these are definitely done, and off they go. So, once we have the fish off and tented,
and turn off the stove.
No, do not.
Oh, sorry. Well, I just worry about things that get left on. I'm always so helpful.
I have a quarter of a cup of pineapple juice, with which I'm going to deglaze the pan. And I'm going to let this bubble for a little while so it gets thick.
Yeah, it's got the flour from the fish.
And then this is going to be kind of a glaze over the fish on the plate. And then the
Pineapple Sage Pesto
will go over the top of it. Okay, so let's get those potatoes ready. I think the camera crew has to work on the potatoes, so we'll be back. All right, so here we have our delicious fish. And look at the flake on this. You can see it on this piece really well. That fish just flakes apart. It's so beautiful. And we are going to add our little bit of our pan sauce to this.
The pineapple sauce.
It's pineapple and pan juice.
We really should be having vegetables, but we're grown up, so we don't have to.
There might be a little vegetable component of this missing, but hey, there's pineapple sage.
We'll eat something later.
All right, so once we take a picture of this and everything, we'll probably put the rest of this juice on our taters or something. But you know, wouldn't look polite. Now we have our pesto. I think I'm gonna put a clump of pesto next to the fish instead of on it.
Kind of like a dipping sauce.
Yeah.
And I put some in the potatoes.
I think it's going to be good, and we can always have more. But yeah, it's in the potatoes, so that's going to be good. And this definitely needs a little topping of Maldon salt. Everything tastes better with Maldon salt.
That's a lot. Well, yeah, it does.
Okay, so we have a lime garnish for each plate. And we have a little bit of pineapple sage flour with which to decorate.
Okay, looks good to me.
And then I'd say it's dinner. So there you have it. Black cod with pineapple sage pesto. Thanks for watching Two Cooks in the Kitchen, and we'll see you next time.